Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon is my favourite Pokemon game, and that isn't an exaggeration. Although the Mystery Dungeon series obviously isn't for everyone, it's always had a special place in my heart, since my introduction to the Pokemon franchise was Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time, a game that I've never beaten to this day, but still get emotional every time I even look at it. So obviously as a kid, when I saw Super Mystery Dungeon on the store shelf, I got it immediately, and I truly think that it's the best Pokemon game of all time. And in case you've never played it, I will warn you, there are spoilers in this video, so watch at your own risk. And I'll leave timestamps down below, in case there's a certain part of the game you want to hear me talk about. So right from the beginning of the game, you have 20 Pokemon to choose from to be the player character, and the partner who will join you throughout your entire journey. The Pokemon you can choose from are every starter from Gen 1 all the way up to Gen 6, plus Pikachu obviously, and Riolu for whatever reason. This game massively improves the overall selecting process of your Pokemon because it actually lets you decide who you want to be. Obviously the quiz is still there, as it's tradition in the Mystery Dungeon games, but it's nice to actually have more freedom in choosing who you want to play as, rather than resetting multiple times until you get someone that you want. I'm gonna try my best not to spoil too much of the game's story, as I truly believe it's something that everyone should experience themselves at least once in their lives. Plus, there is so much to say about this game's story that I could make a whole separate video on it. I remember crying as a kid after first ever beating the game, and even shed a tear recently after playing through again and remembering how precious this game was to me. So to sum it up in a way that still allows you to play this game yourself with little to no spoilers. This game follows you and your partner Pokemon. You're a human who's woken up in the Pokemon world with no memory other than your own name. You meet a bunch of Pokemon along your journey who join you in your adventure across different continents. You become a member of the Expedition Society and go out to explore huge and unique dungeons to defeat, meet up with, and recruit every Pokemon in the world. This next part will contain spoilers very quickly, so just be aware that they can easily ruin a playthrough. I'll give you 3 seconds to skip to this timestamp. 3, 2, 1. Okay, here we go. So, at the start of the game, when you wake up, you're attacked by these 3 Behem. You and Nuzleaf, who acts as a father figure throughout this game, run away and go to Serene Village. So, these Behem you encounter are actually controlled by the final boss of this game, known as Dark Matter. He is a being of pure evil, created from the darkness within every Pokemon's heart. And using his power, he's able to control any Pokemon as long as they have even the smallest form of evil within them. So he uses this throughout the game to control the 3 Behem, Yveltal, and Nuzleaf, the very Nuzleaf who manipulates you throughout the entire game into thinking he's on your side. And he does a damn good job at it. Such an incredible plot twist. I think Dark Matter is really underestimated by most people playing this game. Yeah, the boss fight is fairly simple, and you're probably using an inventory full of nothing but Reviver Seeds at this point, as we all did in our first playthrough, but looking at things outside of this battle, people don't realize just how strong Dark Matter is. Able to control minds, can turn other Pokemon to stone, and can give this power to others. Can trap Pokemon in a different dimension. He literally almost destroys the entire planet by trying to get the sun to engulf it. I could honestly make a whole video about how Dark Matter is the strongest character in the Pokemon universe, even stronger than Arceus as proven in this game. This story is just filled with so many twists and turns, moments that'll make you laugh, cry. It is perfection. If you've never played a Mystery Dungeon game before, I can explain it to you pretty quickly. It works kind of like Fire Emblem, but if you are able to move around freely on the grid instead of just moving from one space to another. Super Mystery Dungeon truly perfected most of this game's mechanics within the dungeons. Movement, even when walking instead of running, is nice and quick so you can safely move without getting jumped by a random Pokemon. The combat is vastly improved compared to previous titles. Your basic A attack has been reduced to only deal 5 damage, which many could argue is a bad thing, but I think it's great. It really gives you that motive to use your moves more sparingly. And yes, I'm aware Gates to Infinity does this too, but we don't talk about that game. Now as for your moves, they're as simple as left trigger, then hit the A button. Nice and simple gameplay that even your grandparents can pick up within a few minutes. Of course, the game won't stay that simple forever. You'll quickly learn that this game gets a lot more difficult as you progress, with dungeons even getting as lengthy as 30 floors. This game also gives you a better alternative to the team attack from Gates to Infinity. I mean, Gates to Infinity? What's that? Never heard of it. So, Super Mystery Dungeon introduces this powerful attack known as an alliance attack. It brings all of your allies to an enemy in front of you, and you surround it and deal huge damage. Now, as I'm sure you're aware, every dungeon has items everywhere. I'll not list them all, as that would take far too long. I will say that you should not assume that every item is useless, as every item in this game has some sort of use. The only items that you shouldn't care about are plain seeds and those stupid save machines that shouldn't be there in the first place. Throughout the many dungeons of this game, you'll encounter many Pokemon who call those dungeons home. Their job is to stop you from escaping the dungeon, and your job is to defeat any Pokemon that gets in your way. Each dungeon in the game contains hundreds of different Pokemon, all with their own movesets. Pokemon will always have a significantly larger HP stat than you, which is a good thing, or else the game becomes way too easy. It means for some Pokemon, you'll actually have to incorporate strategies, just like the mainline games. And speaking of strategies, you'll find yourself coming up with all sorts of different strategies as you take on the many boss fights in the game. Whether your strategy is carefully using your wands and orbs to attack the boss when it's vulnerable, or just filling your inventory with reviver seeds and just hitting the boss until it's dead, which you'll be doing a lot in post-game. Oh, and speaking of post-game, and no, there won't be spoilers here, as everything that happens during post-game is predictable anyway. Besides the 3 to 5 hour story that has some of the best character development in the entire game. But ignoring that, so after you beat the main story, the game opens up so much to you. It's unreal. With 5 different continents to explore across the world, with over 120 unique dungeons, every Pokemon up to Gen 6 available to recruit to your team, ranking up, collecting treasures, recruiting legendary and mythical Pokemon. There is just so much to do in this game that if you were to 100% it, then you're looking at a file of around 130 or more hours of playtime. If it's your first time playing this game, or you just want some advice from someone who's proud to admit that this is their most played Pokemon game, here are my tips for a new playthrough. Number 1. Obviously, choose the Pokemon that you like the most, as there will always be bad matchups wherever you go in this game, and it should be the least of your concerns on a new playthrough. Just choose what you like best. Number 2. Don't rush through dungeons. Now I don't mean explore every floor until there's nothing left to explore. I just mean take your time, because there's a lot you might miss. Number 3. Learn to use items to your advantage. Don't just toss away every wand or orb you get in place of a tiny reviver seed, because these are a lot more useful than you would initially think. I know you see a tiny reviver seed, they're hard to find, you want to pick it up, but just think before you swap out your items. Number 4. Prepare before entering a dungeon. I can't stress this one enough. Have you got enough apples? Enough orange berries? Is your moveset acquainted to the dungeon you're about to face? These little things can make the difference when you enter a dungeon, so be prepared. This game is truly one of the greatest games that the 3DS had. The Pokemon spin-offs on 3DS really were something else, and for any 3DS owner, this right here is a must-play game. It's just a shame that there will probably never be another Mystery Dungeon game ever again. But hey, Pokemon Presents next month. Can't wait to keep my hopes up for nothing.